I thought I'd seen every flavor of crazy out here in the Utah desert, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared me for the morning I rolled up and found an HOA gate welded across my private road. No warning, no permission, just a steel barricade saying I needed their authorization to get to my own house. You ever wake up and think, nah, that can't be real life? Well, that was me, jaw on the dash, staring at a sign that said residents only on a property the deed said was mine, and mine alone. 15 minutes later, my cop buddy pulled up, he saw that gate, and let's just say I didn't just take it down, I made damn sure that entire HOA regretted the day they learned my name. See, I'd spent nearly 7 years out here, tucked away on my own ragged little slice of nowhere. Never once regretted it. 20 acres of raw Utah land, far enough off the county road that the world seemed to just stop about half a mile before my mailbox. Out here, the land isn't pretty the way realtors sell it. It's pretty the way only real, honest solitude can be. There's no apology in this kind of quiet. No fences you didn't put up yourself. No sounds but the wind and maybe a coyote at midnight. The sky doesn't just sit above you. It swallows you. Blue so big your problems start looking small, whether you want them to or not. Some mornings, I'd step out and swear I could see the edge of the earth curling away from me. And that road, Lord, that battered dirt road was my pride. For 1,000 feet of dusty freedom winding through sagebrush, cutting its way to the little house I'd fixed up with my own hands. The deed spells it out, plain as a sunrise. Private access, sole owner, Jacob K. Field. No shared rights, no community management, no board meetings, just mine like land's supposed to be. Most mornings, I'd roll down that road in my old F-250, coffee in one hand, dog hanging out the window, tail whacking the dash, dust blooming behind us like gold smoke in the sunrise. Nobody came out here unless they were lost, desperate, or real bad at reading a map. And that's the thing. 7 years of peace shapes you, makes you calmer, more patient, but it also sharpens your sense for when something ain't right, the way a rancher smells rain long before it hits. Looking back, I guess I should have noticed the little signs. The drop in mail volume. The new tire tracks where there shouldn't have been any. The faint, metallic clatter in the night. Little stuff you wave away, 'cause the world teaches you to ignore what doesn't scream. But out here, comfort can trick you. Makes you think peace is forever, that nobody be crazy enough to poke the bear out in the sticks. So when a storm comes, it feels like it drops out of the clear blue sky. Truth was, trouble had already pulled on its HOA jacket, just hadn't knocked on my door yet. And when it did, it didn't knock. It welded itself to the entrance and dared me to say something. 7 years of quiet gone. 2 weeks before the gate, though, I got a taste of what was coming. It was a Tuesday, already warm before 10, and I stopped by the co-op for dog food and some staples. That place was half hardware store, half gossip post, half coffee spot, and it always smelled like hay and cinnamon rolls. That's where I first saw her, standing by the counter like she owned the oxygen, Karen Sanders. Didn't know her personally, but the name got whispered around the county like she was a tornado made of rules and fines. Aviator sunglasses indoors, a blazer way too sharp for a feed store, heels that'd sink in real dirt. Beside her, a guy in a beige windbreaker, clutching a clipboard like a shield, looked like a man who'd been steamrolled by HOA meetings too many times. Karen was in full command mode, snapping at the cashier about unauthorized signs, chaos starts small, quoting HOA scripture, if that's a thing. I try to mind my own business, but she had a voice that forced itself into every earshot. When I passed by, she gave me that up and down HOA present scan. "You must be one of the off-grid types," she said. I shrugged, something like that. She introduced herself, Karen Sanders, president of Cedar Summit Ranch HOA. I nodded, didn't shake her hand. Jacob K. Field. I live a ways south. Her eyebrow twitched. Oh, that land. Like she smelled something sour. Not many people choose to live outside community oversight. That's the point, I said. She smiled thinly. Just know, Cedar Summit values safety and order. We keep track of everything in the area. I corrected her. In the HOA area. She smiled even thinner. Of course. She strutted out, heels clacking like a warning. Glenn, Her shadow followed, still holding that clipboard like it was armor. As they drove off, HOA decals glaring in the sun, I got a gut twinge. Not fear, just instinct. The kind that's kept me out of trouble more times than I can count. I should have paid more attention. 2 mornings later, I rolled out like always, dog in the passenger seat, both of us feeling that odd tension in the air. When I rounded the last bend, there it was, a hulking steel gate, brand new, welded across my road. Concrete still soft, keypad blinking, camera staring. HOA signs slapped all over it. Residents only, access must be authorized. Cedar Summit, over a mile away, on higher ground, with no right or even a path to pretend they had a say out here. My own road blocked. Not locked in, locked out. I didn't panic. Didn't yell. Just focused. I took a dozen photos of every bolt, every weld, every tire track, every angle. Didn't call the cops yet. No. First I drove straight to that HOA clubhouse. Pristine parking, fake columns, flagpole waving a mountain range logo nobody living there ever hiked. I marched in, through the disinfectant and candle stink, right into the middle of their board meeting. Karen in a cream blazer, smiling her politician smile. "Mr. Kayfield, what brings you by?" I showed her the picture. "Want to tell me why I can't get home?" She didn't blink, called it a misunderstanding, said they were expanding the buffer zone, claimed they needed to control access for safety. "On my land?" I asked. She tried to sell me on some process, fill out a request, maybe get a code if the board approved. I laughed. "You want me to apply for permission to use my own road?" Even Glenn looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. Karen got that hard, brutal look. "It's standard procedure." "You've lost your damn mind," I said. She threatened consequences. I told her the only thing I regretted was wasting 4 minutes listening to her. That was it. I called Lieutenant Mark Dorsey, my friend, a lawman who doesn't waste words. 15 minutes later, he pulled up in his county cruiser, took one look at the welded gate, ran a hand over the steel, and said, "You've got to be kidding me." I told him everything. He listened, then nodded. "That's criminal obstruction," he said. Called in Wheeler, a younger deputy with a set of bolt cutters. We barely got started before Karen rolled up, sunglasses on, trying to take charge. Dorsey cut her off. "You don't get to weld gates on someone else's land." She threatened, protested, but Dorsey told Wheeler to cut the lock. He did, with a snap so loud even the camera looked away. Karen lost her cool, tried to bark orders, and then, on the way out, she slipped on her own gravel and spun her SUV, stuck in place while the deputies and I tried not to laugh. "User error," Dorsey deadpanned. By the next morning, Karen had started a smear campaign. Community emails warning of hostile instigators and blurry camera shots of my truck. The kind of nonsense that'd be funny if it weren't so desperate. By lunch, I had a citation in the mail, ugly document, Comic Sans font, fake government seal, a fine for tampering with safety infrastructure. I sent a photo to Dorsey, who called back laughing. "You're holding evidence of felony fraud," he said. By sunset, neighbors were messaging me about wild stories. One said I'd threatened volunteers, another that I'd forced police to destroy community property. Karen's story grew by the hour, but the problem with lies is you need total loyalty to keep them alive, and she didn't have it. At 7 p.m., a message from Glenn. "We need to talk." "She's gone too far." We met behind the old feed store. He handed me copies of HOA board chats, Karen's own words. "If we control the road, we control him. Doesn't matter what the deed says. If we need an agreement, just make one. Alan's in Alaska. No one's checking signatures." It was all there in black and white. I told Glenn his name didn't exist, and I meant it. The next day, a new gate, this time even fancier Bluetooth keypad, shiny stickers, a sign saying HOA Safety Zone. I just shook my head. Flipper Zero, little black box my nephew gave me, could replay the Bluetooth code in 2 clicks. Gate swung open and closed like a toy. That night, Karen came back at 2 a.m. with a flashlight and a sidekick trying to stage evidence for the next round of lies. Cones, tape, a crowbar for dramatic effect. My trail cams caught every second. Her cursing when the gate didn't work, tripping over her own gear, blaming remote hacking for her failure. I didn't press the button that time. She was digging her own grave just fine. Later, Glenn warned me. She was planning a board vote to secure all access points, calling my road a public necessity corridor, forging signatures, and making fake agreements. The next morning, another manila envelope on my porch. A forged maintenance contract with a dead man's signature, printed in a font that didn't exist when the land changed hands, the watermark a blurry Google image. I called my lawyer, Tom. He said, "Bring your green binder, the one for fraud cases." We were ready. When the county hearing rolled around, Karen tried to strut in with her lawyer, binders stacked high, all righteous fury. Judge Holloway, no patience for nonsense, listened to Karen's side. Then Tom stood up. "Your Honor, that document is fraudulent." He laid out the proof. Fake signature, wrong font, wrong paper, even the watermark traced to Google. Then he showed Glenn's printouts, Karen's own instructions to fake an agreement. The judge didn't hesitate, dismissed the HOA's lawsuit with prejudice, fined Karen $25,000, ordered the HOA to pay $84,000 in restitution, stripped Karen of her title, and referred her for criminal prosecution. The gavel slammed down like thunder. When the county came to haul away Karen's ugly gate, I watched from the fence, arms folded, a little smile on my face. Tom pulled up, nodded toward Karen's house. "For sale" sign went up this morning. County put a lien on it for the legal bills. "Good," I said. She paid for the show. That night, we grilled steaks on the porch. Dorsey, Wheeler, Glenn. To private land, Dorsey toasted. To people who stand up for it, Wheeler added. To corrupt HOA presidents learning their limits, Tom finished. I leaned back, boots on the rail, desert wind cool on my face, the new steel bollards on my road gleaming in the moonlight. The land was rough, the work was hard, and the world was always going to throw you something crazy, but this place was mine. Fought for, paid for, protected. I raised my bottle, looking out at that endless dark. To will and boundaries, I said, letting the words drift into the night. May we always know where ours end, and where the HOA can shove theirs. The bottle clinked against the railing, and the desert, finally, was silent. So tell me, where do you draw the line between community and control, between safety and tyranny? Ever had to fight for something that was yours all along? I want to hear it. Drop your stories, your lines in the sand, your victories, or your battles still brewing, right down there in the comments. Because out here, justice isn't always easy, but it's worth fighting for every single time.